In Capital News tonight, Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed defense and security organs to step up measures against crime. Farmers in Songea Ruvuma region concerned on procedures used by NFRA to purchase maize. And in sport, Tusker FC from Kenya has completed the signing of Ibrahim Joshua from Ken Gold and Carlos Pertas Kirenge from Namungo FC. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has told defense and security organs in the country not to be disheartened by the recent incident in which a gunman killed 3 police officers in Dar es Salaam, but put to step up measures aimed at strengthening the forces so as to be able to deal effectively with such incidents. Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa made this statement in Singida region when inaugurating 2 buildings for the Field Force Unit FFU and an office building for the police force in Singida region.
I would also like to urge our security forces not to give up, especially in the wake of this recent incident. Let it not discourage you from defending this country, and move on forward with a great spirit in the fight against criminals in the country, and note that the government will continue to support you. There are still people who have started to try us, and we are ready to fight anyone who wants to try or commit acts that want to break the peace of this country. We are still having the challenge of the office of the head of the police station in our Kongi district.
Farmers in Songea district, Ruvuma region have expressed concern on the procedure used by the National Food Reserve Agency NFRA, which they claim lacks transparency and is full of corruption malpractices. They made the allegations at a maize buying center in Songea.
Mteja jina lake lilikuwa la kwanza, lakini kitu ambacho kinachoonekana kwamba inakuja.
A customer whose name was first, you find them last. It means there are people whose names are put first and others are put behind. And that is why we are here today. 3 days ago, someone was found corrupt. My advice is for this unit to be closed, and they should say that they do not buy maize, because this is not how a purchase of maize should be done. You find someone has come with 300 sacks and only 80 are being sold. We are overwhelmed by secrets. They don't tell farmers the existing challenges. If you go to NFRA, you'll meet the cargo vehicles, and they have been there for 2 weeks. And there is no full information on what is going on.
The government has filed 4 objections at the High Court requesting the court to dismiss the constitutional case filed by the chairman of Chadema Party, Freeman Mbowe, as it had many legal faults. Here is more on the report.
Representing the Director of Public Prosecution, DPP, Inspector General of Police and Attorney General, Principal State Attorney Hangi Changa, said that the court had agreed to give more time to the advocate of the applicant, Peter Kibatala, to submit an additional oath by August 15th, but they have not received it, and that they had decided to use the oath that they had received earlier to respond to the applicant's requests. Principal State Attorney Changa requested the hearing of the objections to be done in writing, to which the applicants agreed to. Judge Mgeta directed the government to submit their arguments in writing by September 6th, and for Mbowe, through Advocate Kibatala, to submit a response by September 9th. The High Court will give its decision on the objections on September 23rd. In the case, Freeman Mbowe has requested the court to state that his constitutional rights were violated by the DPP, IGP and Attorney General in the terrorist case against him.
Hundreds of residents of Kawe, Dar es Salaam have turned up at Tanganyika Pickers at a meeting organized by Dar es Salaam Region Commissioner to voice their concerns on land disputes that have caused their homes or their houses to be demolished and others fail to be developed.
Tatizo letu ni mgogoro wa ardhi pamoja na kubomolewa nyumba mara mbili.
Our problem is a land conflict with Melissa Katarahia, who says this is her area.
Kesi ya shamba kufanyika.
The field case is held in the field. Let's not work in the offices. Talk to the citizens and the owner of the place to satisfy the legality of this issue. Provide cooperation. We need to use wisdom on this issue because it is a legal matter.
The Immigration Department in Katavi region has arrested 23 illegal immigrants, among them 12 children as well as a Tanzanian who was found sheltering a Kenyan national without following legal procedures.
Lakini katika hao wa 23 tumepata pia na Mtanzania.
Out of these 23, we have found one Tanzanian who has been living with a Kenyan. Out of 24 citizens, over 22 of them are from Burundi. Just in August, a total of 56 illegal immigrants have been removed from the country. We call on Tanzanians to make sure we follow the rules of receiving people from outside, entering without procedures.
Several residents of Sharamoyo suburb in Nyamwage village in Mbwara ward in Rufiji district Coast region have become homeless after 19 houses were razed by fire last night. Coast Region Commissioner Abu Bakar Kunenge and members of the Defense and Security Committee have visited the scene of the fire to assess damage caused and measures required to support victims of the incident.
Tunawapa pole na tunasema kwamba tumefuatilia tukio hili.
We appreciate them, but we continue to follow this event and ensure that they can live in good conditions. You have made good efforts, and I thank all the people of this village for allowing their brothers living with them. I was in a shamba during the event. I came to be called and told the house was on fire. I arrived to find the whole house in a blaze. It was around 13 hours and it was windy. I don't know how am I going to live. Today we had a fire disaster. One citizen was cleaning his area by fire and then he could not control it and the fire was all over and 19 houses were burnt down. There are no deaths or injuries.
The 12th Parliament expected to start tomorrow, where two bills on the oil pipeline and miscellaneous amendment bill are expected to be on the agenda. Some residents in Dodoma have urged the Parliament to also review the financial law on mobile money transfer fees charged by mobile phone companies in the country.
Kama mtetezi na mwakilishi wa wananchi wa jimbo la Ngara.
As the representative of the citizens of Ngara constituency, I am prepared to make sure I defend them on the basic issues about the development of the citizens of my constituency.
Kwa sababu serikali ni sikivu.
The government is responsible for what directly affects the people, and this government listens to the citizens and keeps the public moving forward with the government.
Mimi nataka niwaombe tu wananchi tufuatilie kinachoendelea.
I ask the citizen to follow our continuing discussions, laws, budget discussions, and this information are clear and open so that people don't say they have been left out without notice or information.
The government in Lushoto district Tanga region has banned mining activities at Vuga mine after an inspection study showed that the activities were destroying water sources and that it would affect implementation of a water project worth more than 900 million shillings.
Tuna mradi wa maji ambao ni wa serikali. Mradi huo unahusisha wilaya ya Lushoto na wilaya ya Korogwe. Haya maji yanaenda Mombo na ni mradi wa milioni 900. Vile vile kwenye eneo la Vuga tuna mradi wa milioni 358 wa wananchi wa pale Vuga. Wote wanategemea chanzo hicho.
Kwa hiyo sisi kama watu wa maji
tayari tumeshafanya tulishakaa na wale wadau, tulishakaa nao, tumeshaweka mabango kwa ajili ya utunzaji wa vyanzo, na sasa hivi kwa sababu ulinzi utaimarishwa, tunachokifanya sasa hivi lile eneo la chanzo tulipojenga chanzo cha maji pale Kindoi.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows shortly.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
the show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
Welcome back, and in international news, several rockets have been fired at Kabul's international airport a day before the deadline for the U.S. troops to pull out of Afghanistan ends. Here's more on the report.
The White House, which confirmed the attack, said that evacuation operations at the airport were not interrupted. The ISIS armed group claimed responsibility for the attack, whereby 6 rockets were fired at the airport. The attack comes a day after the U.S. forces launched a second drone attack in Afghanistan after Thursday's suicide bombing at the airport that left nearly 200 people dead.
Residents from Kasanzi village in Beni, North Kivu, the Democratic Republic of Congo, have fled the village after 19 people were killed by people the government claims are from the ADF rebel group.
Korenye ya mtu moya papa Kizizi na wengi wamebebwa, hatujue kama wataonekana.
Na vitendo vyao na namna waliweza kufika ni waasi wa ADF ambao waliweza kufika ndani ya mgine huo, na hakika tunahakikisha hiyo kwa sababu hali ambao wanafanyaka mara nyingi wakati wanafika mahali pengine ni hali ambao wanafanya kuua watu, kubeba mambuzi, kuchoma manyumba.
And President Yoweri Museveni has met the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed Ali, as conflict in the Tigray region spreads to other parts of the country. Here's more on the report.
Prime Minister Abiy, who was in Uganda for one-day visit, met President Museveni at State House Entebbe, discussed various issues and agreed to further strengthen cooperation in regional and international issues of common interest. Ethiopia and Uganda have been cooperating in various peace progress in the region.
1 person was killed and 4 others injured after being buried by debris at a construction site in Kerugoya area, Kirinyaga County, more than 120 kilometers from Nairobi City, Kenya. The accident occurred at 11:30 a.m. this morning when the workers were digging trenches for water infrastructures.
Wakati tulipata habari mwendo wa saa 5 tulifika tukamobilize, na mara ya kwanza tuliambiwa watu kama 7 wamefunikwa, lakini after the rescue efforts tumegundua kwamba watu ambao walikuwa wamefunikwa kwa mtaro ni watu 5, na 4 kati ya hao wameweza kusaidiwa.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after the break. We'll be right back.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
back, and in business news. Serengeti Breweries Limited has continued with the Kapulawana campaign, which aims to empower youth by providing them with various working tools. Among beneficiaries is Pivatus Mujuni, a resident from Kagera, who has been given a power tiller and various equipment worth 10 million shillings. Every entrepreneur is going to give testimonies where we shall collect all of them and visit reality of their stories.
Huyu Mjuni kwake kazi inaendelea.
Mjuni is cultivating maize and beans on a 3 hectares land by using handhole method. The Confederation of Tanzania Industries CTI, in collaboration with United Nations Industrial Development Organization UNIDO and Small Industries Development Organization SIDO, has established a desk to help small industries owners and producers to conduct feasibility studies before starting their businesses in order to grow and become competitive.
Sio wenye viwanda wengi.
Not many factories owners have the capacity of doing feasibility studies before establishments. However, it is a very important step as a gesture of assurance of the project to banks or even investors to attract capital or loans.
Kiseme huyu anakopesheka.
Lakini vile vile mwingine anaweza kuwa anataka kuongeza.
It is important because if today someone producing cooking oil while knowing that there are byproducts that can be used in production of animal feeds. And research has shown that Rukwa region has a suitable soil for cocoa, oil palm and macadamia farming, which can help the country address the problem of edible oil shortage and improve the lives of people in the region.
Baada ya kupima udongo wako, tumegundua kumbe kuna uwezekano wa kulima mazao mengine huko hapa kama vile makadamia, kokoa, michikichi. Umeona faida hiyo sasa? Tapanda huko pembezoni mwa ziwa Rukwa kuna Tanganyika.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows next after the break.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Position, Joaquinho, he did lose some length.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Kenya Football Federation Premier League champions Tusker FC have completed the signing of Tanzanian duo Ibrahim Joshua and Carlos Protos Kirenge from Tanzanian outfits Can Gold FC and Namungo FC respectively.
The Ruaraka-based Chargers will be representing Kenya in the CAF Champions League next season, and it is the reason why coach Robert Matano is strengthening. The duo has signed 2-year contracts with the champions. Kirenge has set eyes on helping the Brewers to successfully retain the league, while Joshua, who scored 21 goals in 19 matches in all competitions for his former team, stating he has already settled.
The safe arrival of Afghanistan Paralympic athletes in Tokyo sends out a very strong message of hope, says International Paralympic Committee spokesperson Craig Spence. Here's more.
Kuda Dadi and Hussein Razuli made it to Japan after leaving Kabul in a major global operation. They were welcomed to the athletes' village by a party including IPC President Andrew Parsons, IPC Athletes Council Chairperson Chelsea Gottel, and the Afghanistan team's chief de mission Aryan Sadiki were also part of the meeting. Kuda Dadi and Razuli were among thousands of people unable to leave Afghanistan after the Taliban seized power before the pair were evacuated.
Now the Formula One is to instigate urgent discussions to prevent a repeat of the scenario under which the Belgian Grand Prix was declared a race after only 3 laps behind the safety car in heavy rain. Here's more on the story.
Scathing attacks after Sunday's events, including from Lewis Hamilton, who described it as a farce driven by financial considerations and demanded that the fans should be refunded. Formula One has since insisted financial expediency was not behind the decision. Nonetheless, other senior figures in the sport have declared Formula One must consider alternative options when races are threatened by bad weather. The race at Spa-Francorchamps had initially been delayed by more than 3 hours as heavy rain made standing water and visibility too treacherous for racing. Then, despite the conditions having not improved, the governing body, the FIA, declared the race could begin. The cars duly emerged from the pit lane and completed 3 laps behind the safety car.
Ethiopian Yalem Zerf Yehualo smashed the women's half marathon world record as the Antrim Coast event in Northern Ireland. Here are the details.
22-year-old Yehualo clocked 63 minutes and 43 seconds, which cut 19 seconds off the previous mark set by Kenyan Ruth Chepngetich earlier this year. The Ethiopian was on the world record pace all the way. Her compatriot Jamal Yimmer won the men's event in 60 minutes and 29 seconds as he edged out another Ethiopian, Tesfaun Akalneo. Yimmer had 1 second to spare from Akalneo, with Kenyan Shadrach Kimining a further second back as he completed an All-African top 3.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimba. Thank you for watching and good night.
Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on. You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
Salam kutoka Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Uliwahi kufikiria msichana mdogo kufanya harakati za kupandisha hadhi sanaa ya unenguaji ama dancing? Subiri, usinijibu kwanza. Leo nataka nikukutanisha na Angela Nyigu.